Click here to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll get instant notification of new videos as they're released. So what's the number one problem that I see with people when they're trading? Well, if you look at a trading market, you'll start here and end here. So we're representing this as time. And as time develops, the price moves from here to somewhere over here. But of course, the price could end up here or it could end up down here. And you get a certain amount of variability as the market moves towards its final goal. So let's imagine that the price is moving up nicely for us. The problem that you have is that people cut out regularly. When you have, it's very, very rare for a market to just go in one direction only. So as a consequence, you establish a position, your trade is in profit, and then the trade starts to slip down and down and down, and then suddenly you're not at profit. So people cut out here. But the fact is that at the point at which you cut out, the point at which the pain becomes too much, market starts to turn up again. I'm sure you're familiar with this scenario. So as you're active in the market at this particular point, you have gone into the market here, you've seen your trade demolish itself, so you've made a loss. You're negative at this particular point. So you jump on board here and try and catch the next upswing, but you tend to wait a little bit longer before you confirm that it is going to continue in an upswing. So at that point, you join the market at the top here, at which point it starts to head straight down in the other position, and then eventually gets too much for you to bear, so you end up negative. And then repeat the process here and here. So instead of having a market where you actually ended up positively at the end of it, you've ended up making a loss. And this is the most common mistake that people make when they start trading. If you would have actually held your position, you would have ended up with a positive trade at the end of it. And this is why you see some people getting positive results while somehow you've managed to end up negative, because the volatility in the market is just chucking you out. So the thing to do is, if you have a tolerance to a certain level of risk and you're willing to bear that level of risk within a market, then that gives you the flexibility to end up with a positive trade. So what I'm saying here is, rather than panicking as soon as you turn negative, say, I'm expecting to turn negative by this amount, and therefore I'm willing to ride it out. Now, if it exceeds that level, then you probably need to get out because that gets severely uncomfortable. But if you allow yourself a bit of profitability, a bit of negativity rather, then that will actually end up giving you a positive in the longer term because you're giving yourself more flexibility to soak up these psychological difficult points within the market. The interesting thing is, and there's been loads of studies done on this, but a negative result feels much worse than a positive. And also, negative results people tend to blame on external circumstances, and positive results they take the credit for. Never do either of those. Look at it from a broader perspective without looking at either of those extremes. Now, another thing that you can do as well is there is a trading opportunity when you get these bumps and ripples. So why not trade these little periods where the market's going up or down? Go in with a stake that you intend to hold to the end, but as the market fluctuates, trade in and out. And what will happen is you will actually create a positive out of these particular trades. So you get a positive here, another positive there, and another positive there. So even if that third trade and this thing actually didn't go up, but it actually turned around and went negative towards the end, you've probably already got a couple of positive trades through the market before you end up with the negative situation, which means that overall, you can see here, well, up one, down one, you're probably going to end up overall over the course of the trade. So there are a number of ways of mitigating this, but the main purpose of this video is to say to you, if you're not tolerant to the occasional loss or the position going against you, then you may get chucked out of the market many times before you actually end up with a positive. And that's the number one mistake that I see with people when I watch them trade. If you're interested in learning more about BetAngel, why not visit betangel.com today and download a free trial.